an awesome privilege be seeing such lovely, vibrant faces, young faces, okay? So you are the leaders and you are the change of the next generation, all right? So it's so nice that your youth leaders have taken this initiative so that they can prepare your minds as to what you need to do for your future, all right? So before we go on, can I know from which grades you're all? What are you doing right now? So that, I know a bit of what all of you do, and, it'll be nice. Anyone from grade 12? Oh, there's one hand. Okay. 10th or 11th? Oh, yes. 3, 4 hands. Okay. And then less than 10th? I'm just a 8th or 9th grader. All right, that's nice. That's beautiful. All right, so much ahead of time, you're just going ahead and then thinking about or trying to focus your dreams or your desires or what you need to do, well ahead of time. That's nice. So as your Didi was telling you, she told me, we have given them strict instructions that they have to call us Didi and not Auntie. So you can call me also as Didi. All right. So she was giving you an introduction as to how we are going to deal with today's session. Okay. So if it is going to be a medical field, definitely the scope of medicine and the paramedical is very, very wide. And she told you that I'm a nurse basically. So today I'll be concentrating more on the nursing scope. All right. What are the scopes of nursing, what are the different fields available, and how you can go about in choosing a career if you would love to be a nurse, all right? So before we go on to today's session, I want to do a small polling, all right, as to what you know about nursing. Definitely you would have heard lots about it, okay? Or you would have seen a nurse, or probably somebody in your family is a nurse, all right? Or you've been hearing people say, probably you should take this profession, or you are considering it. All right. So whatever it is. So there are no right and wrong answers. This is just to get your opinion. And the best part is your names will not show up. All right. So you don't have to worry at all. All right. So you can just say or give the answer what you feel like. All right. So there you go, you can see my screen. So what you will do is you can minimize your screens and you can type saying join a lesson near pod. You can see it on the screen, right? NEARPOD, all right? So you can type this in your Chrome bars or on your Safari or whatever you're using, all right? Yeah, nearpod.com. And you can say join a lesson, and then it will ask you for a code, and you will have to type in this code, capital R, capital D, 9, X, and Q, all right? I'll repeat it once again, capital R, capital D, 9, X, and Q. Probably Daphne, you can type this also in the chat box. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So how many of you have done it? Yes, I can see Joshua giving me a thumbs up there. Or if any of you need guidance as to how to do it, I can explain it to you once again. Anyone who has still not joined, you need to type Nearpod and then join a lesson. It will ask you for a code, and the code, you can see it on the screen. Can you give a virtual thumbs up or a thumbs up on your screens? Show me like this so that I know that you've all joined. Or you can unmute and say, It says only two.
Could you just explain it?
Okay, so in your search bar, all right, in your Google search bar, you just type Nearpod, NERPOD.com, all right? Yeah, or you can find it in the chat box. You can just click on it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I'll do that then.
Anyone else? Anyone else having a problem? Yeah, now I can see that 4 people have joined. And you've started giving answers as well. Wow. Okay. Okay, so I have typed down 5 very simple questions for you. Okay. So the first question is this: what I have heard about nursing profession, whatever you have heard. I've given you just 4 options or 5 options. So you can just say what you have heard the most, okay? What is the most predominant thing that you've heard about nursing? One is you can go abroad and earn a lot of money, okay? Another option is it's a noble profession. Next is it's very stressful and has a lot of jobs to do, all right? And then it has job security. So these are some of the options that I've given. All right, we've got 7 people who have answered. Good. Anyone else still trying to join? Do you want me to give you any more help? Yes, because I want all of you to take up. It's just people checking the rest devices are mine. All right. So now let's look at what you have answered. Okay, so on your screens, you can see the chart. All right. So how many? So 40% of you say it is stressful. All right. So that's what you've heard about nursing. And the other 40 says you can go abroad and you can earn money. And another 20% of you say it is a noble question. Okay. Very important. It's a stereotype job. So do you think it's only for women? Nursing? Oh, only women have to do that. No, men also have a chance to do. All right. Or you're saying it is not a man's job. The boys here, okay, what do you think about nursing? Okay. We have certain roles. No, okay, this profession men can do. I think it's perfect for a man. This profession only girls have to do. So we have our own perceptions. So I just want, all right, okay. So we have answers here. Let's 70% of you have said men and women have equal opportunities. That's good. All right. Okay. Somebody has edited their answer. So now 80% have said, and then what about the other 2? You haven't answered. You haven't answered any.
I was not able to edit it. It just shows me the chart.
All right. Okay. Probably because I shared the chart. That's why. All right. That's okay. So what's your answer? Do you want to give any answer? Is nursing both for men and women? Yes, Nathaniel.
I would say the option C, men and women have equal.
Men and women. Wow, wonderful. Thank you. Next question. Yes, we have seen a lot of male nurses as well. All right. Okay. What do you think is the duty of a nurse? You've gone to a hospital and seen a nurse, or I don't know, I'm just outside, so I don't know what a nurse does. You carry your patient, or is it to give medicines and injections? What do you think is the duty of a nurse? I think this generation, you have quite a bit of exposure. When I went into nursing, seriously, I did not know what a nurse does. Okay, only when I got into the nurse's uniform and the shoe, I knew what it was. Okay, so 90% of you think it is to carry out doctor's orders, which is very much true. Usually in an institution, nurses do not do anything by themselves, only when there is a doctor's order, they're able to carry it out. But we're going to see much more, all right? Clean up the patient, yes, and do a lot of things for the patient is also what a nurse does, okay? So wonderful, thank you. Let's look at the next question, okay? Nursing has wider scope compared to many other professions. When you say scope, it's like different branches. It's not just about being in an institution, giving medicines or taking care. It's got a lot of other options, okay? So is that what you think? Yes or maybe? I'm not saying no, but I don't know, maybe. So if you're saying maybe, you have answers in the session to come, all right? Okay, few of you are saying maybe, we don't know, we haven't heard, but most of you are saying when compared to other professions, all right? Good, I think we are going to the last one, okay? It's a very light one. Which color of uniform is more suitable for nursing care? Maybe you went to a hospital and you saw a nurse and you thought, oh, probably she's in a nurse. If you think of any other option, you can just unmute and tell me, all right? Blue is one of the predominant colors that we see. White is also, it was very much used. There was no other color other than white for nurses. It's always white, okay? But now we see more of blue, okay? And in some places we see pink, the pastel shades of pink and green and lavender, okay? It's not what you see. I'm asking you what you want them to have, all right? It's your wish, all right? Most of you have said blue. Probably it's all boys, is it? And then another person says white, but 80% of you say it's blue. Wonderful. Okay, so we'll close this and we will get back to our session, okay? Good. How was it? Did you enjoy the polls? I want you all to unmute and answer, okay? Did you enjoy the polls?
Yes, Didi.
Yes, okay. So all this is what you know and some things that you do not know, all right? Okay, so let's look at what is there in the presentation for us, all right? So you have said what you know about nursing. Many of you said, is it a tiring job or is it, very easy to go abroad and earn money? Definitely, that was one of the first things that I had in mind when I was looking at nursing. I will be telling you, how I got into this as well, all right? But before that, let's look at what is nursing actually, all right? So this is a profession that assumes responsibility for continuous care of the sick, the injured, the disabled, and the dying. So this is one picture that we have in our mind all the time. A person who is able to give care for someone who's physically, unwell or physically disabled. Nursing is, a very broad term. Unlike, not just for the profession's sake or for a career's sake, even for a mother, we say a mother nurses her child. Anyone who's able to take care of the child, we say nurse, okay, nursing. taking care. So it's basically giving care. But this was the view, only taking care of the sick people. But now, in the last few decades, okay, and very much in the last decade, we have seen there is a lot of change that has happened in nursing and how it has broadened itself. So one area is teaching, the next area is research and management. We see a lot of nurse managers now, and policy deliberations. It's not the, the stereotyped way of functioning in the hospitals anymore. The nurses are really, putting their minds together as to how they can make the nursing care better, how they can make the patient stay, more comfortable. So there are a lot of policy changes, okay, or how the medical team can come together and work. There are a lot of policy deliberations that the nursing personnel are involved in. Patient advocacy, okay, speaking for the patient, all right, on behalf of the patient, with the doctors, with the others in the team, all right. So there's a lot of things which happens. So unlike the usual view where we think that a nurse always stands next to the patient and gives care, this is the broader perspective of nursing definition that we get right now, okay. And as all of you said, nursing is the largest, all right? Not even one of the largest, it's the largest and the most diverse and the most respected of all healthcare professions. Of course, for us, many of you will think, when we think of a medical profession, of course, being a doctor, being in the medicine field, is one of the highest. But yeah, nursing has a very, very large spectrum of functioning to the common people, right? So where did it all begin? Does anyone know from where did nursing begin? Who began nursing? Any person whom you can associate this nursing to? Anyone knows any names? No? Okay, so if you do not want to speak up, you can even put your yes. Okay, Florence Nightingale with a question mark. Yes, it was Florence Nightingale. Okay, so she was a well-educated person. All right, a well-educated daughter is what is mentioned here. So who were her parents? Wealthy British parents she had. Okay. So we're not talking about, the 21st century where nurses are respected with high regard. We are talking about 1800s, in the mid 18th century, where Florence Nightingale lived, all right? She was living in a society where nurses were not respected at all. They thought nurses or people who go for nursing should be from a very low socioeconomic background, or they cannot study, they cannot find any jobs, and they should go for nursing. But this girl, Florence Nightingale, okay, she was well educated and she was born to wealthy parents. And it says she defied all social conventions. She did not bother about what her society felt about nursing or how they would perceive her or her parents. She just did not mind, but she went into nursing because she wanted to do good for the welfare of the people, okay? So all of you would have heard about the Crimean War, which happened during the 18th century, all right? So in 1854, there was a hospital where it admitted all these soldiers. And there were a lot of infectious diseases which were spreading in the midst of all these soldiers. And more than the injury, these soldiers, they succumbed to a lot of infectious diseases and they were all losing their lives. So Florence Nightingale and her team, they were called to work in the Crimean War Hospital, all right? And by then she had a lot of strategies in mind. She said hygiene is needed, and then good food is needed, good ventilation is needed. So people were saying, come on, you're not speaking what is right. So she said, I'm going to experiment all this. And she went into this war hospital. The first thing that she did was she opened all the windows. Okay, she started scrubbing all the walls, which were so dirty. and which was not maintained. She made sure she gave good food. They all cooked good food for the soldiers and she gave them. Okay, so this is what happened in the Crimean War Hospital. And one of the main things that she did was she set up little tubs where the nurses could wash their hands. If they attended one particular soldier, they would wash their hands and then go on to the next soldier, which was not practiced at all by the medical professional who were there, who were attending to the soldiers. But when Florence Nightingale and her team went, there was a lot of change that they saw. Within few weeks, the death rate really came down. So she was able to prove that the strategies that she said, the scientific things that she had come up with was all true, okay? And she said, people need to be educated well, all right? The nurses should be educated well. And on the picture that you see on the right, you can see that she has a lamp, okay? She is very popularly known as the lady with the lamp. So what did she do when all her crew members were tired and when they went to bed in the night? She used to walk around with a lamp, okay, lit in her hand, just to see, just to make sure that all the soldiers are fine, okay? So this was the start of modern education. She said, don't take nursing for granted. They have to be learned. They have to use scientific principles to take care of patients. So that was when education, okay, nursing education was implemented. And now we see that there is 3 to 4 years of education at university level. Once you finish your 12th grade, you step into university and you study for 3 to 4 years and you are able to get a bachelor's degree. And you can do a specialized or advanced nursing practice at your master's level, all right? There is a lot of post-diploma courses, certificate courses, which you can do it for a couple of months or for a year, okay? So nursing education has taken a very big step after Florence Nightingale stepped into it, and she said that nursing has to be done in a very scientific way, all right? So what are the fields or what are some of the, careers that are available in nursing? What are some of the common things where nurses are involved in? The first thing that we all know is a hospital-based nursing, bedside nursing, okay, which is the basic, being beside the patient. And as you all said, carrying out what the doctor has ordered. Probably there are certain medicines ordered for the patient that a patient needs. The patient does not know. 10 medicines are there. Which one should I take at what time? So that's when a nurse steps in and says, this is what you need to take in the morning. This is supposed to be taken every 4 hours, all right? Giving IV fluids, giving injections, taking care. Nurses also take care of the cleanliness of the patient, okay? So if a patient is not able to move out of bed, going to the toilet is going to be very difficult. Going and having a bath is very difficult. So nurse even gives, a bath and takes care. So when I stepped into nursing, all this was very new to me. First year, we used to sit and write a lot of procedures, okay? How to give a bath. So, okay, if, washing the face and hands and all these things is fine. But, when we wrote more and more about how we need to take care and about the hygiene, I was like, come on. Should a nurse do all these things as well? We were taken by surprise, okay? So the nurse really puts in her heart and soul to take care so that, the feeding a patient, okay? Where do you see that the nurse is sitting in this picture? Is she in a hospital? Is she in a building? Where is she sitting?
She is sitting in a village.
Yeah, she's sitting in a village. This is the community-based nursing or the community health nursing practice, okay? So nursing is not, confined to a building. A nurse can always step out and be in the community, conduct mobile clinics, be accessible to people who do not have the facility to go to a main hospital. Probably they cannot afford for it. They cannot travel so much. There are no hospitals in this village, but there are nurses who are trained to be community nurses, who go into the communities and conduct mobile clinics like this, okay, just under trees. They don't need any buildings, okay. Community nurses just conduct small clinics there so that they can be of great help for the community people, okay. So what do you think this branch of nursing could be? Anyone? Looking at the picture, you see a person.
Therapeutic?
Therapeutic. Okay. So therapy for what problem?
Mental psychology.
Very good. Okay. Psychiatric. All right. Psychological problems. There are many people who have mental disorders. Okay. So nursing has also, widened to this particular practice. Okay. So if you look at the pictures, like as all of you said, men and women have equal opportunities here. So very consciously, the pictures that I have chosen have both men and women. Okay. So we have male nurses also in all the pictures that I have added. Okay. So what is this branch of nursing?
Pediatric.
Pediatric. Wonderful. Okay. So why am I looking at all these angles is probably, you have a heart for one particular field. It's not just the hospital-based, the ICU nurses, being there bedside, but there are a lot of areas where you can specialize, where you can put your focus saying, okay, children are my, a passion. I would like to work for them. And then there is pediatric nurses for you, okay? So if you look at every field has its own, intricacies. If you look at pediatric nursing, you cannot treat children like how you treat the adults. Right from the medicines dosage that we give, everything is different, okay? Even if we are looking at resuscitation, you would have seen in movies and all, people falling down and then, they will be like having an arrest and people climbing on them and thumping on their chest, okay? And then helping in a mouth-to-mouth breathing. Even small procedures like that, it's very different for an adult and very different for children. So when the branch is so diverse, definitely, you need special education for every branch or a practice that you do. So this is pediatric nursing practice. Okay, so what is this nurse up to? What is she doing? Anyone? Whom is she attending to? Is it obvious in the picture? Girls?
A pregnant woman.
Okay, a pregnant woman. All right, good. Okay, so this is maternal child health nursing practice. Okay, so the different branches that we're looking at. So these nurses are specialized in this particular field where they can take care of women who are pregnant, women who have just had children, all right? Okay, so how does this patient look like? This male nurse is attending to a patient who is significantly very advanced in age. You can see, her hair is all white, all right? So this is geriatric nursing practice, okay? So taking care of old people. So here, when they have here they might not have, a specific physical ailment as such, but that, as you go older and older, you get health complications, you fall sick because of your old age. Because of old age, there will be a lot of health conditions. So geriatric nursing practice it could be prevention also. Before something happens, they can give a lot of teaching and say, this is how you need to take care of your digestive system, smooth aging process. That is geriatric nursing, okay? This is a nurse practitioner. She almost looks like a doctor, right? Very confident, very independent. So nurse practitioners, we were looking at an option where we said they follow doctor's orders. But when you're qualified to be a nurse practitioner, you are independent. Okay, so you can independently work, or you can work in collaboration with physicians in the emergency room. Okay, so they come and ask you, so the doctors treat you as equals. You're asking, okay, so how shall we plan the medical, whatever we are going to do for this patient? How shall we plan the treatment for this patient? Okay, so the nurse practitioner plays very important roles in emergency rooms, in ICUs, okay, in nursing homes, OPDs. So they are able to take decisions by themselves and go ahead with the care of the patient, okay? And clinical nursing specialists, okay? There are certain other areas. So the other areas are neurology. Neurology is everything that has to do with your brain and with your nervous system, okay? And cardiology. Cardiology has everything to do about your heart and the circulation, all right? The next is rehabilitation. Many patients would have had, a fall or an accident where they have, very badly injured their spine. They're not able to move, all right? So what happens? Initially, there is a lot of medical treatment that is given in the hospitals. Probably there is a spine surgery that is done. There is a medical treatment that is done. After that, the person is not able to move at all, still in the bed, still needs a lot of exercise, still needs, feeds to be given, medicines to be given. Probably the people at home, they are not able to take care of them. So that is when the nurse helps to rehabilitate. Rehabilitate is helping these people to come back to their normal, okay? So that is also what a clinical nurse specialist can do, and a psychiatry nurse. And this is a nurse midwife, okay? So we saw about the maternal nursing practice. Midwife is a nurse who is, empowered to conduct deliveries, okay? Conduct deliveries all by herself. So here in India, where I live, we are moving towards institutional deliveries, okay? So because, many people are there in the rural areas and they do not have good facilities, they deliver children at home. But what happens is, because immediate care is not given or proper treatment is not given, they land up with a lot of infections, and there are a lot of deaths during deliveries. So what we tell them is, you have to go to a hospital for having deliveries, all right? But in other countries, we see that, there are a lot of medical professionals, there are a lot of facilities that are available. So what happens is, they want to minimize the institutional deliveries and they encourage home deliveries, where they can get connected to a nurse midwife. The nurse midwife visits the pregnant woman at home. She does all the care at home, checkups and everything is done. And finally, she conducts the delivery also at home. So if there are siblings, everyone at home gets to watch the baby being delivered. Isn't that really awesome? Okay, so that is a nurse midwife who's empowered to conduct deliveries, normal deliveries all by herself. Okay, so this is the nurse anesthetist. So you would have heard about, doctors who are specialized to be anesthetist, and this is the nurse anesthetist. Okay, so where this nurse, she operates only to give anesthesia for the patients. Okay, so in the operating rooms, obstetrical is, where the women are giving birth, that is obstetrical delivery suites, okay? And surgical centers, this is where these nurses function, okay? And these are all the specialties, so many specialties: emergency nurse, geriatric nurse, hospice nurse, neonatal. Neonatal is taking care of very, very small children, just born, okay, within 28 days of birth. Oncology is cancer nursing, okay, school nurse, and all these things are the specialties. Expanded roles of nursing. Now you can see nurses almost everywhere. Forensic nursing, okay, military nurse, family nurse, all right. health advocates, and we see nurses also as administrators and educators. So you can go on and on and on. As I told you, there is a very wide scope. This is just a handful of examples, the top rated ones that I have listed here for you. Okay. Having said all this, probably you're thinking, oh, there is so much to think about. There's so much to do in nursing. Okay. This is the question that you need to ask. What does this profession mean to me? Okay. What does it mean to me? Or how I would like to get involved, if at all I choose this profession. Anything that you take, okay, any profession that you're considering, any education you want to pursue, I think the first thing that you need to do is personalize it, okay? Because it's all about you. If you go back, few minutes that we started, the first question that I told you is, what have you heard about this profession? Okay. You can hear many people say many things about a profession, about a career, about a particular course that you want to take. But at the end of the day, it's all about you, because it is you who is going to study this. It is you who's going to continue doing it. Okay. So if you do not personalize it saying, yes, I really want to do this. I want to give my heart and soul. I want to be passionate about following this. You will definitely not be able to fit into all the stress or all the challenges that you will have to face. Nothing on this world is without challenges. Any career that you take will have challenges. Okay. So unless you answer this question, you're not going to be able to move forward at all. Okay, so having said that, I would like to give you a brief, detail of how I came into this particular profession. Okay, so my childhood, when I was 40 days old, I hope you're all still there. You're all very quiet and listening to me. Okay, are you all listening? Yes? You can unmute and say yes, or you can just wave, or you can give me yes on your chat box so that I know that all of you are connected. All right. Okay. Wonderful. So when I was 40 days old, when my parents took me to, yes, Ananya, thank you. Yes, I'm getting some yes now. All right. So when I was 40 days old, when they took me to church, okay, it was a medical Sunday, and that is where my parents decided, okay, probably God is calling our daughter to be, in the medical field. Did I know anything about it? No, I was just 40 days old, man. I was just, lying down in my mommy's arms, very cozy. I didn't even know what was happening in church. Okay. But as I was growing up, they told me a lot about this. They said, probably you should get into medical field. You should do a lot of things, help the community that is around. So that is what they told me when I was growing up. But there were two interesting games that I always like to play. Okay, so you can see two little children on the screen, right? One child having a stethoscope and, checking the little teddy bear. And there is another little girl, talking to a bunch of teddy bears out there. Okay. So these two things is something that I really, really loved doing during my childhood. Probably running around playing is also something that I liked. But, acting as if I was a doctor, writing prescriptions, taking little sticks and poking my doll, saying, I'm giving injections is something that I really like to do. And teaching, having a board, writing. And then here in India, we, all the teachers wear saris. So, having a towel around me saying, I'm a teacher, and having a stick and telling the children to sit quiet. These were the two games that I really loved to play. Okay. But what happened? There was a turning point in my life. When I was in grade 6, I happened to visit a small slum like this in the North India, okay, where I met a lot of small children. And all these children, they did not have education. And, I saw a little boy with a lot of sores on his head. And when we asked, the mother said, we did not put any medicine. We did not do anything because we do not know what to do, and we don't have hospitals around. So that is why we have left the child like this. the child was running a very high temperature. So because, we all take, paracetamol and all these things, aspirins when we have fever. So we just said, okay, why don't you just take this tablet and eat? She gave the tablet to the child. And not only that, what she did, she just powdered it and she put it on his head, thinking it will, resolve the problem. So when I saw all these things, I understood probably the decision which my parents made long time ago, saying, my child has to go into medical profession so that she can be of help to all these people. She can reach out to these people in need. It made me to think, but I was only in 6th grade. I had a long way to go, okay? But when I finished my 12th, it happened that I did not qualify for medicine, but I qualified for nursing. And I also took the Florence Nightingale pledge, okay? Everyone who becomes a nurse, we light the lamp and we take the Florence Nightingale pledge. It was very exciting. The first time, I held the lamp and I was there in, as Daphne Didi told you, it was a Christian Medical College, okay, a world-renowned college. I'm there in a very prestigious institution. All that was very exciting, but it wasn't easy. I did not like the first year at all. I said, oh, I thought nursing was a very nice job where you just have to carry medicines, where you just have to give injections. That's it. Do I have to do all this? Do I have to change the sheet, the dirty sheet of the patient? Do I have to do this? Do I have to clean this patient up? It's involving a lot of dirty work. I do not want to do this. I just want to quit. So there were a lot of challenges that I had. There were a lot of things going on in my mind. But I was thinking, okay, I've taken the pledge. Let me just go on. But there was something else which also happened. You can see some girls standing here, no? Our college, for the bachelor degree program, we have only girls, okay? Only for the diploma, we take the boys. So there we had 50 girls of us, 50 of us. So every fresher batch is made to walk on the ramp, okay? So I also got to walk on the ramp. All of us have to walk. So all of us walked, and then I was one among the 12 finalists, okay? So we were asked a question. So I was asked, why did you become a nurse? So I was thinking, I'm just in first year and they're asking me a question like this when I actually want to quit and run away. Why would they even ask me a question like this? What is your ambition? Why do you want to become a nurse? So I just took a deep breath. In all the beauty pageant contests, you'd have seen, they'll start with, well, I would like to, and things like that. So I also went on. I said, many of you would have heard that, when you become a nurse, you can fly out of the country and you can earn a lot. But my ambition is to stay back in my country and work for my country. I just said that one statement. And I got a big, loud applause. I was actually so tense, but I got a big, loud applause, okay? So I won the title that day because of the winning statement that I made, okay? But it really made me to think. I have made a statement saying, after I do this course, I will stay back and work for my country and I will not go abroad. That really made me to think. Probably I made the statement which just came out like that with all the commitment my parents had made, the turning point which I had in 6th standard, all these things probably made me to say that, but it stayed in my mind, okay? And there was a lot of learning experience. You can see me on the right-hand side corner, okay? I actually got a lot of time to pick up all the albums and look at the old pictures. So that is me in the operating theater. As a student, I got to go inside the theater to see what was happening, to assist a lot of surgeries that were going on. But did this stay in my mind? Did I want to do this particular branch of nursing? No. And then came the midwifery, okay, where I could, take care of the pregnant women, deliver babies, really see how the delivery is taking place and do it myself. That gave me a lot of joy, but this is what I wanted to do. I was not convinced. Then you can see me standing with a pot, no? This is how the rural Indian women actually take water, right? Maybe in other rural communities also, we have seen people carrying pots of waters. I was in one of the rural communities for the community nursing posting that I had. When I was with those children, when I was with those people and doing help for them, doing service for them, that gave me so much of joy. That gave me so much of satisfaction. In my third year, I realized, that if at all I wanted to continue my nursing practice, I would be a community nurse. All right. So that was the change in focus that the learning experiences brought for me. And I graduated. All right. And after my graduation, I was asked to choose my posting. They said, okay, so you can choose for yourself where you want to serve for this hospital. And what do you think I would have chosen? I turned out to be a community nurse, and I was teaching in the same college as well. So on the left-hand side top, you can see me standing with my bunch of first-year students after their lamp lighting, okay? So they have taken the pledge today, and I'm standing there as their teacher. And you can see on the right-hand side where I was functioning as a community nurse, in one small village next to Vellore, where we used to visit every day. Every day they take us by bus and they drop us from morning to evening. We walk on the streets, we go into the homes of people, look at all the sick people, and then, give them the help that they need and conduct small clinics. These two pictures, can you connect with the earlier childhood picture that I showed you? All the desires that I had, the desire to teach, okay, and the desire to sit and write prescriptions and see patients, I really saw it happening. And what am I doing today? So Daphne Didi already told you that, we run an NGO here in India and we help a lot of rural people. So this is from the latest visit that I had. So last week I was in one of the northern states, that is Uttar Pradesh, okay, which is very close to Delhi. I visited some of the villages there, and I visited a lot of small children. I taught them how to do hand washing because it was Global Hand Washing Day that day. All right. And I spoke to a group of women, encouraging them and telling them how they can be a support to their family. All right. And I met a few young people just like you who were so vibrant, and I conducted a lot of activities for them. And I told them how they can be, career guidance was given to them as well. Okay, vocational training. They're starting a small center where they can come and they can be equipped, where they can speak, where they can learn about communication, where they can actually develop their personalities. All right. And I was in a slum, okay, seeing the small children there, giving away little clothes and then some hygiene kits like soaps and brushes and toothpaste so that they can keep themselves clean. So I got the ability to speak to them. All right. So this is how I am using my nursing education and the knowledge. Probably I'm not in an institution right now where I actually have the title of the nurse. Okay. But definitely the education that I received, okay, all the desires that I have has been completely, fulfilled, I can say, and I'm continuing to use my knowledge whenever I travel. And even in families, if I notice, when we have a very good medical knowledge, it is very easy because you know that children at home, fall sick, you have a lot of emergencies at home all the time. And it is very easy to take care of them. So I'm actually very privileged. I'm not there out there in a building, helping somebody who's in need, but I'm able to take care of my family. With the abundant grace of God, I should say that, going to a hospital is something that I do the least. Unless that is a real emergency, I have never been to the hospital, for my own needs or for the needs of my children. The only time I was ever admitted in hospital was for my delivery, okay? And the only time that I have taken my children for, a hospital visit is for their vaccinations. Even other injections, I prefer to give it at home. So whether you practice this in an institution or not, definitely this education gives a very big hand. Anyone who calls me and then, gets advice, I'm very happy to talk to them. So we have heard so much. Okay, all of us have our own dreams. All of us have our own desires. The first thing that you need to do is, probably few of you are just in grade 8 or grade 9, and some of you are already in 11th or 12th. It's high time that you decide what you need to do for yourself. Have a dream, have a desire, have a focus. There are a lot of things going around you. If you still do not know what to focus on, just pray and ask God, Lord, what do I need to focus on? What is the particular subject that I need to streamline to, so that, I can prepare myself for my future? And this is a picture of a family. Okay, your parents. Honor your parents. See what they have to tell you. Probably they are guiding you. They are giving you advices. This is a great family support, or a support system that has been orchestrated by God. Your church, your youth leaders, okay, all these people have been knit together in your community so that they can guide you, all right? Above all, commit your ways to the Lord. Just say, Lord, I have my own plans, I have my desires. This is what my parents want me to do. But ultimately, I want you to fulfill what you have for me. If God fulfills His purposes for you, definitely it will be very fulfilling. Whatever you desire, whatever you do, even if it is the smallest job that you do, even if it is a not well-paid job, even if it is not in a very big institution, when you finish your work and when you come back home, you will have a lot of satisfaction. Okay, you will feel happy that you were a blessing in that place. You were happy that you got to be a blessing to so many people who came to you that day. Okay, so commit your ways to the Lord, and He will direct your paths. So this is how, probably after hearing all these things, it's not about saying, wow, this is a good profession, probably this is what I need to do. No, this is just to give you an idea of what is there in the world today around us. But as I told you, don't go by what people say. Don't go by what people say or by what you hear. Personalize it. You think of what you want to do. Have a dream, have a desire. Ask people for guidance and commit your ways to the Lord, and the Lord will help you to accomplish what He has in store for you. All right. So thank you so much for your patient listening. It was such a joy to talk to each one of you today, and I'm sure you're blessed. So if you have any questions, if you would like to ask me anything, you can go ahead and ask. Do you have any questions? No questions?
You can even type it in the chat box in case you are unable to unmute.
Yeah. Yes, Sharon, you have something to ask?
Not something to ask, but I just wanted to say that I'm super happy, and I'm actually looking up to you to the point that when you had a chance to go abroad and learn or earn so much, and maybe even your family and everyone around you would have given you much more respect, but you chose something you love, and you worked for the people of India, and you served the slum where we all know that you wouldn't earn much because even they don't have, but you chose your profession to help the poor and glorify the Lord.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that encouragement and those lovely words, Sharon. It means so much. Yeah. Yes, Joanne. It will be passed on to you by your leaders. She says that she has missed the first half of it, and watch it later.
So, Joanna, if you could please just send me your email on private message, then I'll just forward the link it'll be put on YouTube. So, yeah, you can definitely watch it from the beginning. If you could please share your email on private message, then anybody who wants to watch the recorded video, we will only send it through link. I don't think we're going to make it public, so only via link. So please send it as a private message. Thank you. And yeah, anybody else with questions?
Okay, so we have, who's that? Who has texted? Samuel, is it? What is the name of your NGO? Does it have a website? Okay, yes, Samuel, our NGO is called as the CFIS Foundation, and we operate here in 3 states of India. Okay, one is in South India, that is Karnataka, and in 2 North Indian states, one is Uttar Pradesh and one is West Bengal. So we operate in all these 3 states, and our main focus is children, okay, trying to empower them and educate them. Most of them have the opportunity to go to a small government school. So, like an after school program, when they come back, we provide them free tuitions or with a basic price, okay? And we give them a lot of small motivational gifts like school shoes at the beginning of the year, or, cardigans when it is really cold. North India is known for its extreme weather, okay? Or, when it's hand washing, we kind of increase their awareness. So this is what we do among children. And among adults, yes, we do some revenue generating programs for them so that they are able to be self-sustainable. So we teach them tailoring. We teach tailoring for women. And for men, we kind of set up small jobs like, probably get a couple of, they can work with some cows, they can get some pigs and start their revenue. So this is how we help the men to support themselves and their families, all right? And we do a lot of educational programs, okay, raising their awareness, because as you know that the medical facilities in North India is not so good. They do not have hospitals. So especially during this COVID-19 time, we did a lot of awareness programs for them, like hygiene, and many of our volunteers went on sanitation programs as well. They went and cleaned up a lot of common places, and we helped in vaccination programs as well. So thank you, Samuel. We will definitely get in touch with you and we will share our details with you. You can read our stories in the website. Anyone else? Yes, Nathaniel, you need to unmute and speak.
No, I was not speaking.
Oh, okay.
All right. I think that session was not only informational, very informational, but I think one of the most important things that we all learned was what is your purpose of choosing any career, right? Like Mrs. Idaline shared, the reason that she went to this career itself was to impact people. And we know that no matter which career you choose here, you need to ask yourself that question. Am I helping someone, or is it all about just making money, or is it all about just how I feel about my status, or what I have wanted to become? So I know that when somebody hears medicine, the first job preference that they have is for doctors, right? And of course there is a big demand for doctors, but what you need to realize is that there is an equally bigger demand for nurses. Believe it or not, the most wanted job, or rather to say the most wanted profession in the last 2 years has been the nursing profession because of the pandemic, right? So all the countries have now realized how important nurses have been to the healthcare system, not only taking care of patients, but offering advice and also taking care of patients who are not COVID related, because while the whole system was being burdened under COVID, there are other patients who are being ignored. And I personally know of 3, 4, 5 different people who are qualified nurses who were called, who through contacts were called and recruited abroad because all the nurses in their country were going out of staff, right? So this is one of, I would say, a profession that's future proof, if that's a good way to put it, because you're always going to have scope in every single country in every part of the world. And like we said, we need to change our mindset and we need to think about, what is nursing actually, right? Do we consider it to be a menial job, or do we consider it to be a noble profession? Just like how any profession can become a noble profession if you look at it that way. So in India, we have this, mindset, and we kind of just squeeze everything on to only a few professions. And what happens is that either creates a job loss in the other place, or that creates an overabundance. And you have people who are working in fields that they absolutely don't like, right? So this was one particular place, and coming from a family, of nurses, and also my in-laws, where they have been nursing college professors, nursing college principals, I can tell you that there is a big scope, just like how Mrs. Idaline said, the scope is huge. And she has basically touched on every possible aspect there is. So please do pray about it and see what is your passion, what do you want to do. And as children of God, the first thing we must be asking is, how is my job going to help the society around me or the people around me, no matter what job you do, right? How am I going to glorify God through this? Unless we answer that one question, there is no point of us in choosing any career. That's the first thing we need to ask. So thank you so much, ma'am, for your wonderful session. And I'm sure that not only were people inspired, but they've opened their minds, to understand. And I personally, I didn't know many things, but thank you so much for it. And we hope to see more and more children, be aware of things like this, and to be aware of the scope of the medicine, of the medical field, right? So if you have any questions, please do share, but if not, we will end the session. And the next week, we will be joined by another speaker, and we're going to be focusing on engineering and research in engineering field, right?